This city has always been a sanctuary city, and we've always managed those who wanted to come to New York City to pursue the American dream. Our cup has basically runneth over. We have no more room in the city, and we need help.
The city is being destroyed by the migrant crisis.
Law of sanctuary city was in place long before I became mayor. I'm following the law. As a law enforcement person, you know we follow the law. We're now in court today, asking the judge to revisit this law to deal with this humanitarian crisis.
The national government has turned its back on New York City.
Our insurance was the federal government, and they're saying to our insurance contract, we're not giving you anything. So now we have to, me, taxpayers, have to find $12 billion out of a $30 billion budget. It has to come from somewhere. It has to come from somewhere. And they're leaving us stranded. They say, well, Eric, why don't you just stop letting them in? It's against the law. Federal law does not allow me to do that. Well, why don't you just deport? It's against the law. Federal law doesn't allow me to do that. And the national government is not doing their job. You should not have to pick up the cost of this. And migrants and asylum seekers should not be living in the conditions that we're in.
Where the heck is the President of the United States?
That is a good question, and I think we all should be asking, why is this happening to a city that was turning itself around and will continue to do so? This should not be happening to New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, and the other big northern cities, and really it should not be happening to El Paso or Brownsville, Texas. No city should be carrying this burden. This is a national problem, and it needs a national solution.
Mayor Adams and mayors from 4 other big cities will head to the White House tomorrow, demanding more federal help to deal with the migrant crisis.
That report coming from the New York Times, which obtained the federal search warrant. The FBI allegedly looking into illegal foreign donations from the Turkish government. Adams has previously spoken about his close ties to Turkey, most recently at a flag-raising ceremony for the country just last week.
Mayor Adams speaking just before an event at Gracie Mansion tonight. He says he holds his campaign to the highest ethical standards. The surprise raid prompting the mayor to abruptly bail on a trip to D.C., where he was supposed to meet with White House officials to discuss the city's migrant crisis.
I owe my campaign to the highest ethical standards. Any inquiry that is done, we're going to fully participate and make sure that it's done correctly. I have not been contacted by anyone from any law enforcement agency, and that's why I came back from D.C. to be here, to be on the ground and look at this inquiry as it was made.
Mayor Eric Adams says he will cooperate with any investigation into his campaign fundraising if he's asked to do so by law enforcement, which so far has not happened. His remarks coming just hours after federal agents raided the Crown Heights, Brooklyn home of his top fundraiser, 25-year-old Brianna Suggs. Suggs seen here in a picture posted to her LinkedIn page. The surprise search prompting Mayor Adams to abruptly return from a planned trip to Washington, D.C. to talk with White House officials about New York City's migrant crisis.
The FBI has seized Mayor Eric Adams' cell phones as the investigation to his chief campaign fundraiser continues.
Yeah, our government affairs reporter Melissa Russo has been talking to sources. You just got to the camera, Melissa. What have you been able to find out?
Well, David and Natalie, we don't know whether the investigation specifically is targeting that campaign fundraiser. We know it has to do with campaign fundraising. But Mayor Adams and his attorney confirming to me this afternoon that the FBI approached the mayor on Monday night after an event and took several of his electronic devices, cell phones, and also possibly a laptop. This comes a little over a week after the FBI raided the home of Adams's chief campaign fundraiser, Brianna Suggs. It also explains the mayor's announcement this past Wednesday that he had hired a criminal defense firm to represent both him personally as well as his campaign. In a statement, one of the mayor's lawyers, Boyd Johnson, implied that it was the mayor and his team who informed the FBI about wrongdoing, not the other way around. Here's what the lawyer said, quote, After learning of the federal investigation, it was discovered that an individual had recently acted improperly. In the spirit of transparency and cooperation, this behavior was immediately and proactively reported to investigators. Now, the mayor has been and remains committed to cooperating in this matter. Mayor Adams has insisted this week that he has not been accused of any wrongdoing and that he has nothing to hide. So we are waiting to see what else comes up in this investigation.